Virgo, the Virgin. Here's your reading for October 2017. As a reminder, guys, this is a general reading, so please take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Also, if you would like to book a private reading, please see the description box with the link there upon how to obtain one. And also, guys, remember that these energies can cross over and the messages can cross over as well. So either this is coming from you or coming to you. So apply it to your guys' unique situation. So let's go ahead and bless the decks and we'll get started. Guardian angels of love and light, ancestors, lost and known in the seas of time, please intercede this reading to provide Virgo with the clarity and direction as to which he or she seeks, and please grant me, the reader, the objectivity to read the cards and relay every single message as they are meant to be. Okay, Virgo, we're coming into the reading with the Queen of Swords. Virgo, so I feel like with this spread here, you walked away possibly from a situation. And it seemed like it was a good idea. Which, I can't blame you for that. But I also feel like there was a valuable lesson learned here. And also I got the little saying, sometimes we don't realize how hard we write for people until they park. So in traditional tarot, you come into the reading with the Queen of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, the Six of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, the Two of Swords, and the Two of Wands. Yeah, there's a lot of swords here, Virgo, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. All your cards are actually upright. And that's pretty rare in my readings or in any of my spreads, you know? But I feel, Virgo, like you walked away from this. And usually, Virgo, like, you know, make pretty good decisions. You're known for doing things the right way. You can always trust the Virgo's opinion, you know, especially when it comes to analytical things or judging things for what they are. My spirit guides just said, don't say judge, because that's not what happened. They misjudged. Okay. Especially scrutinizing things, let's say that. But I feel, Virgo, like, I feel like when you left, you realized how, I don't want to say great it was, but I think you realized that maybe it wasn't so bad. And you left. Because I feel like something did look pretty good, that there was it looked like a promising avenue. And you know, Virgo, there's always that risk of when we leave something behind or we lead to something new, that it's not guaranteed that it's going to work out, you know. And I feel like maybe those are one of your fears in terms of making that like definitive decision, making like that decision that's like it's now or never type of thing. Oh my God, Virgo hates making those types of decisions like that because you don't want to weigh out all the pros and cons. And I feel like the weighing of the pros and the cons, there was some, all of that, let me say, weighing the pros and the cons out wasn't so logical. The majority of it was. But I feel like there really wasn't, though. There was a part of it that was more your ambition. I feel like a lot of it, or some of it, I should say, was subconscious. And I feel like, Virgo, you know, sometimes you guys tend to stuff things down and maybe not think of it. And sometimes that serves us, you know, it helps us cope with things. But if that's on a frequent basis, in terms of stuffing things down, just not visiting it, and just saying, okay, I don't want to, saying the classic, we'll worry about that later. When we do things like that, we never tend to address them. And then situations come up and it calls for, proper delegation, maybe in terms of like what we need and what we want, right? But then eventually we don't know how to deal with that type of emotion because we didn't deal with it when it first presented itself. And how are we ever going to deal with it if we never do, though? And I feel like this is what happened here. Like, this was the lesson. Like, this was something that was done maybe sort of out of ignorance, but I can't really go at that too much. Like, yes, it was ignorance because maybe you weren't so skilled in that area of, maybe seeing that something isn't so bad. But I can't really say that it is ignorance if you chose to maybe ignore the building up of it. Am I making sense? I hope I'm making sense. As soon as it came up, and instead just stuffing it down, you then don't learn the lesson of that, and then what ends up happening is that then it may present itself in the future, where it may not be the exact same situation, but the outcome of it leaves you within that same emotional realm, and because it was stuffed down, then that one's going to get stuffed down. So what ends up happening, Virgo, is there's this cycle of just stuffing and stuffing and stuffing, but we're double stuffing, right? And we're almost triple stacking stuffing, if that makes sense. And we can't call it ignorance at that point, because if we're stuffing it down, we are acknowledging it. We wouldn't be stuffing it down if we at least didn't. And why are we stuffing it down? Because it hurts, or we don't want to see it, or we just want to ignore it. When you ignore something, Virgo, you acknowledge it. No, very rarely is it ever not the case. But you're very perceptive. You see things for what they are. But I really think that that's what it was. And leaving this situation, right? Some complacency came in. That was the reason maybe why you left, was because maybe a little bit of lack of appreciation was kind of coming up, or it presented itself. That's why I'm saying why I feel like the situation kind of just came to you a little bit. And because maybe we didn't work for it as hard, we didn't work for it coming maybe to us, or the beginning, the commencing stages of it actually happening. And I feel like this place that you went to, or the situation, or whatever the case may be for you, it's like you arrived and it may have went okay for a little bit, but then all of a sudden it was like, whoa, I think you realized you weren't the Queen of Swords anymore. You were the Knight of Swords. I feel like you were back at, it was like you digressed, like almost being demoted. And then now I feel like you have a tough time making decisions, and you don't act on them anymore, or you feel like you can't. And I feel like that's why we're kind of stuck between the middle. Like, are we going to act on what we want to do? Yeah, we may plan it, and we may say, okay, this is how we're going to do it. Line all our little ducks up. But are the ducks going to take off? Like, they're just going to sit there for like JFL, just for looks? Are they ever going to be utilized? And this is looking at something and saying, okay, well, what are my options? What can I do? Beginning to maybe set it up. But the Three of Wands, this is the Two of Wands. The Three of Wands is more senior ships come in actually when you act on it, and actually when you put it into action. This is just maybe setting it up, or maybe seeing what your options are to even begin to set it up, right? But then finding new ways of how to communicate that, And I'm really feeling there's like a stagnation here. And I'm really feeling like you don't really know what to do now. And I feel like there's a part of you that wants to go back to to whom you were with or you were at. Because I feel like you're not used to being the Knight of Swords, you know, where you can't communicate, or you feel like there's a restriction of it, or maybe you just don't understand how you can. But I feel like maybe where you were before, you did, and it was clear, and up to a certain point, but at least it was okay. But the complacency kicked in, and I feel like you now feel like you missed out on opportunity. Or maybe you realize that your ambition took over and it turned into stubbornness. And that's why I say that the Four of Swords here. Now what's needed, Virgo, is solace. You now need to check in with yourself. You now need to see what happened. And I feel like this new situation that you're in from the one that you left, now you're thinking a lot about the old situation. It's time to revisit it now. And there's going to be some regret. There's going to be some, moments of maybe feeling not too great about yourself or about the situation. And also maybe Virgo, try not to criticize yourself so much, to take it as a learning experience. But I feel like I can hear you maybe saying or seeing you beat yourself up about it. And why I say that is because Five of Pentacles are here. Feeling left out. Feeling like you must do it all on your own now. Or feeling rejected too. That's what the Five of Pentacles can also signify. But it's a proactive rejection, if that makes sense. You kind of aided in the development or in the end result of feeling left out. That's what the Five of Pentacles signifies. And it's also ignoring what's maybe in front of you, and also it's along the lines of like stubbornness again. I really feel like there was a little bit of stubbornness here, like It's a very strange reading, Virgo. I'm not surprised, for you guys, because the universe and spirit and energy has a weird way of working with us. But yeah, going back to the Five of Pentacles, it's not looking at what the solution really is. See how, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a person right there. They're in the dark shadows, and there's a person literally laying here, but hiding, walking away, feeling left out, right? But she chose to walk away, or he chose to walk away, and to stay in the shadows. No one can see you in the shadows. No one can help you in the shadows as well. But it's okay. Don't fret, I feel, Virgo. Tower. Don't fear the Tower. The Tower is not a bad card. I don't mind the Tower. It just means, Virgo, that it has to get worse for it to get good, or for it to get great. You have to see the bad before you can see the good. Because therefore we can compare it. And when we do compare it, we can deduce what we need to do and what we don't need to do. It builds experience. And unfortunately, there are circumstances where we feel like, shit, I shouldn't have done that. Of course. But it's okay, it's not the end of the world. Speaking of the end of the world, the World card. It's Pretty good. This is pretty good, Virgo. You have the world card upright. Look, all your cards are upright. That's what I'm saying. I feel like good's gonna come out of it. It's a learning lesson of sometimes the grass isn't greener on the grass isn't always greener on the other side. It's greener where you water it. And you should my guides are funny today. I think because he knows you guys understand analogies. He said, my guy John says, you should be too worried about how green your grass is to worry about anyone else's. And you should be too busy watering your own grass to worry about how well there's people are watering theirs. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes we just have to open our eyes, Virgo, and see that things that are in front of us, they're not that bad. And I can understand and I can see why, always wanting improvement, always striving for more, which is okay. But ambition can be debilitation, and I've told you this before. And I feel like this is a lesson learned in terms of, it was karmic, I feel, Virgo. Like, I kind of feel like this is maybe, I think it puts you into the perspective of maybe seeing why other people make certain decisions when they maybe didn't work for what the source was. Because when you work for something, Virgo, it builds appreciation. And we build respect for it. And I feel like maybe there wasn't enough here, or that perception was just kind of missing. And with the world card, this is having it all. But you can only have it all after the change. I don't want to say destructive change, but the change where everything comes crashing down. And it happens very sudden. And I feel like this is what happened here because it was a sudden decision that was made. I normally didn't pull all these cards for all the other signs, but I'm going to pull them. I feel like I need to. The Ace of Pentacles here. Great. This is a great card. Offers going to come in. Or the beginning stages of financial gain. But I feel like it's more of, like I said, a learning experience where you're going to take this and you're going to apply it to your life. And I feel, you see, the Moon card reversed. Could maybe be dealing with the Pisces. But check it out, like deception indicated. That's usually what I say with that. And I feel like deception that was indicated was from yourself. You saw like a shadow side of you a little bit. And then what's the next card? You could be dealing with a Scorpio, but Death card. A lot of major arcana right at the end, Virgo. This is the transformation. You got the Tower and the Death card. Most people be like, oh my God, that's horrible. No, it's not. I just see that the only thing that I can maybe say about getting those two cards in a reading is it's going to be pretty hellish, like in terms of the transitions. But just keep the goal in mind, Take this as a learning experience. Do not look at this, Virgo, as like a detriment, and don't beat yourself up for it, or it's going to be all bad at that point. Don't do that. There's some real lessons here, and there's some real growth here. But it depends upon how you see it and how you view it. We all mess up, Virgo. It's okay. We can't be too damn perfect. I'm a Virgo sun. I understand. But I think that's a lesson. It's okay to be imperfect. You're human, It's okay. We all make mistakes. Let's pull a Jesus card. See what he has for you. According to your faith, be it unto you. I want to say, Virgo, that you've got this card before. Sorry, I feel like you have got that card before, Virgo. Oops, sorry, I put it face down for me. This way. And I feel like, I want to say I remember telling you this. I feel like this is deja vu. According to your faith, be it unto you. But Virgo, like, this was your faith. And things happened, and be it unto you how it all turns out. I want to say you got this one too before. He that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go to my Father. John 14:12. And I feel, oh, this was Matthew 9:29, guys. I don't know if I said it, but I feel like, see, listen, be it unto him, right? But at the same time, it's the work that you do, it's a learning thing. And it's a learning experience, because you can only do the job well if you know the ins and outs of it, and the ins and outs of it, and also at the same time having like guidance a little bit, but you maybe in turn being the guide, because I feel like you're going to learn a lot from it, and then other people can learn from you as well. But you kind of have, okay, I just got right now, my guide told me that you have to go through certain things, Virgo, to gain maybe compassion or appreciation. And I believe that that's what I was saying here, like, because things, maybe a little bit of luck came your way, and it just happened, it worked out like that, and then, maybe you popped your collar a little bit too much, and it happens, but your faith in who or whatever you confide in, it's going to ultimately be what comes of it. Okay, Virgo, I think that's it. Yeah. It was a little, the reading wasn't too bad. I feel like you had a lot of major arcana at the end, but it's okay. I feel like it's a learning lesson, okay? And I really want you to take it like that. They want me to flip this card over for some reason. Yeah? Blessed are they that hear the word of God and keep it. Luke 11:28. The word of love, Virgo, because that's really what it is at the end of the day. The word of love. Are you going to keep loving your heart? In order for you to understand how to love, you've had to been hurt. I feel like there's like polar opposites here. Like this reading was like, what's that saying? The rules of opposition. I believe like that's what it is. But all right, Virgo, I'll go ahead and end your reading here. But I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was informational. Check the description box. You can book a reading with me, and we can look more into this. And we can see where it went wrong, not what happened, and we can see what to do next in terms of what happens from this lesson. Where to go from now. What maybe is there to learn from them? Things like that. All right, Virgo, I'll go ahead and let you go. All right, be good.